Hey everybody, it's the Red Man again, and at the risk of stating the obvious, video games are an interactive medium that are meant to be played. And saying that, I feel like I'm losing my mind because I could have swore I said the exact same thing very recently, and indeed I did in a video on Axiom Verge 2 making boss fights optional for very little good reason, but it turns out the 11 of you that watched that video weren't enough to stem the tide of human insanity, so I'm going to have to demand that 20 of you watch this video, and maybe we will begin to turn the tide. Probably not, but what can you do? It seems another developer has forgotten that fundamental truth that video games are meant to be played, and if that were it, I could probably let it slide, but it gets so much worse, as we'll get to with what you see on the screen right here. To start with, what happened was developer of Psychonauts 2, Double Fine, added a invincibility toggle switch to their option menus. I guess just turn it on and you are invincible, you can't take damage. And this information has caused lots of people to lose their mind in every direction. And I'm just the guy sitting here thinking, is like, we used to call them cheat codes, but I guess you Zoomers think the whole universe started with Barack Obama. You don't know what a cheat code is. So God mode is a new experience to you. Now, I can hear you asking, well, Redman, if it's just a cheat code, does it really merit a whole video? I'm glad I asked that. Just on that, no, it wouldn't. But developer of Psychonauts 2, Double Fine, has crawled up its own ass with self-satisfaction over adding a simple invincibility toggle, and reading this whole tweet thread they've started is just diving down a rabbit hole of baffling idiocy. Let's begin. The first tweet, they quote, first of all, Xbox, for some ungodly, unnecessary reason, tweets out, "Beating the game on the lowest difficulty is still beating the game. Who asked?" Like, why tweet this? And Double Fine doubles up on the levels of why by quote tweeting, "If you beat Psychonauts 2 with the invincibility toggle on, you still beat P2. No, really, why tweet this? Like, at all, you can just not tweet, that's fine. This tweet's itself's not bad, but it's not good. You could have just not said anything and avoided this entire mess. It immediately gets much worse with their own response to their own quote tweet. Double Fine, quoting, I guess, a video game player they might want to actually sell their video game to in a condescending manner for reasons known only to the sweet baby Jesus. Excuse me, I beat Sword Guy Serious Time on a no-hit hard mode, and if you didn't do that, I don't respect you. And can you even comment on things if you're not Diamond 6 rank and Shooty McBlam? I don't think so. Cool, bud, you're so cool. Shut the fuck up. What humanity's intern waste of human jism got on a power trip because they got the password to the Double Fine social media account, felt the need to tweet this pile of twat. If you want to put an invincibility toggle in your game, fine, go ahead. But that combined with all of this is really beginning to make me question the entire decision-making process that goes on within this whole company in relation to everything, but also the design of their game they're trying to sell me, I suppose. And here we reach the cherry on top of the dumbass sundae. Double Fine. All people should be able to enjoy games. All ages. All possible needs. I'm going to stop right there for a moment. Listen to me. You little piss whistle intern that wrote this dumbass tweet. Listen. You are a failure of a human being. I need to make something very, very clear, to stress it very strongly as a philosophical and spiritual truth, as an undeniable fact of the universe. There is absolutely not one thing in existence or in theory that is able to be enjoyed by everyone. Nothing at all is for everyone, and that's fine. I bring it up all the time that I played rugby in college, as I must mention, as often as possible. I enjoy rugby. I imagine soccer players don't. I also don't enjoy soccer, and you don't see me go to the soccer field and tell soccer players about how they've got to change soccer to suit my tastes. I go to the soccer field just to insult the little baby dick players and to insult the baby brained fans, because I'm a normal person and also kind of an asshole. The point is, if you simply don't enjoy playing video games, don't play video games. Go watch a movie, read a book, have a wank, whatever. Go find something you actually like and are good at and enjoy that, and leave those of us who enjoy playing video games the fuck alone. The tweet continues and it somehow gets even dumber, not aided by a typo. It's an ongoing, important process for our industry and a challenge we need to met. Fucking hell. No wonder this idiot wants an invincibility toggle on all their games. They can't even type right. God only knows how well they platform. End of the day, we want you to have fun, to laugh, to experience a story that affects you on whatever terms you want. Listen, if you don't want to play the game, if you want your terms to be, I don't want to actually play a video game, just watch a Let's Play. And by the way, I don't think Psychonauts 2 is going to be such an enthralling story that you just need to experience it no matter what. You can simply pretend it doesn't exist and go do something you actually like. And I know Double Fine, or people say, oh, Double Fine wants to sell as many copies of the game as possible to literally everyone because capitalism. No, that's twatalism. They are a video game company making video games. Their target demographic, their customer, are video game players. They forget that at their own impending bankruptcy. But you think, well, it's an invincibility toggle. How much difficulty was it to put in the game? Not really. Frankly, my dumb ass barely knowing Python 101 could probably at least conceptualize how you would put in an invincibility toggle. Just to have, code like invincibility equals 1 or, some switch to set invincibility to 1 or 0 or true or false, or whatever the syntax is. And then in the actual gameplay code, whenever you take damage, have it check whether invincibility is off or on before calculating what damage you take. If it's on, you take 0 damage. If it's off, you take whatever damage you normally would. Nice and simple. It gets so much worse. Astral Eye Cultist here manages to ask a question that is at the same time insightful and also ass-blisteringly retarded. They ask, I can respect that, but I do have a question. This specific toggle only cuts up one part of how the game is built. A lot of people with the disabilities this was made to help will probably also have issues with other parts like the platforming. How do you intend to help that? Yes, how do you intend to make sure I don't have to play any of your game? Games developer Double Fine? What a dumbass question. Double Fine's answer is not any better. We have alternative control and power selection options to address certain needs. They include the ability to adjust how certain aspects of platforming are handled. Proofread your tweets. You're like an actual company account. You can't keep your subject, verb, tense agreement and fucking jackasses. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna have a stroke. Let's try that sentence again. They include the ability to adjust how certain aspects of platforming are handled, including jumps and how Rez's levitation ability is activated. We also have the ability to disable fall damage. Now, all this sounds like a considerably more effort in programming into your game than a simple invincibility toggle switch. And I want you to keep that in mind, the time and effort that must have been spent to do all of this stupid bullshit to make sure players don't actually have to play the game, as we go on to this dumbass tweet. Draken, I completely agree with you. I don't get why Souls-like games don't have an easy mode. You can still play on, quote, normal, unquote, and get frustrated if you want. I can play on easy and enjoy the game after a long workday. I think every game should have an easy mode. Listen to me. Draken, you're a failure of a human being. What are schools teaching you kids these days if it's not what an opportunity cost is? Listen, every minute spent programming and conceiving and implementing all of this dumb attitude is a minute spent as a minute not spent making the actual game good. Double Fine seems to have put so much effort into making the game, or making it possible to not have to actually play the game. I have to question if they spent any time at all making the game, good. So here's my conclusion. For the love of God, do not buy Psychonauts 2. Don't even pirate it. Don't waste your time. Don't spend your opportunity cost on this self-satisfied, smug, pretentious pile of poo. I'm just going to list off some games that I think are pretty good. I would recommend to you in some form or fashion. Metroid Prime, Salt and Sanctuary, Rogue Legacy, Jade Empire, Nier Automata, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, The Witcher 3, Mass Effect, Tales of Berseria. Now, I believe it is of incredibly low probability that you've played each and every one of those games. Instead of giving Double Fine, these smug idiots, the satisfaction of playing their no doubt garbage game, pick one of those games I just listed that you haven't played and give them a try. I promise you, I would bet money they are better than what Psychonauts 2 ends up being, because Double Fine, video game developer studio Double Fine, forgot what a video game is supposed to be, and you just hate to see it. I'm going to wrap it up there. I'm the Red Man. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I don't have to make a third video exactly like this in the near future, but I will have something for you again before too long. Take care until then.